Everybody, welcome back to another review. I know I've been posting in a while, but I'll try to post more often. I just haven't had no video ideas, so that's why I've been gone for fucking 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks, I believe. Just 10 days, I think. No, a week and a half. But I'll. But here's a long video, and I'll try to post more often. So yeah. So Apollo 18. This movie is probably one of the greatest science or found footage movies. Well, apart from Creep and the other ones. But this one has nostalgia to it, and it's so fucking creepy. Like, I recommend watching this movie. I think it's one of my favorite found footage movies, like, that ever took place in space. Like, literally, it adds the whole creepiness to it. There's, like, spider rock aliens, however you say what the fuck they are, but it's so fucking creepy. Like, I didn't know what the fuck it was at first. Thought it was a documentary or something, so I was like, I think it was on Netflix, I believe. I could be completely wrong, but I was like, I decided to watch it, and turns out the movie's not fucking bad at all. A lot of people call it bad for some reason. I don't fucking understand it, but it ain't. So let's get straight into the movie or review. So the movie starts off with, I think, I can already remember the characters' names, but I remember starting off with three guys talking about going to space because it's like a secret mission that they were put on, and they get sent up there, and they're just setting up shit and stuff, and they put cameras and shit outside, and they find these weird rocks, and they decide to bring it back to the ship, but you can see on the camera that there's something moving in the rocks, or the rocks are moving, and they don't know nothing about it, so they bring it back to the ship, and how can I explain it? I don't know if this is I don't know if this is further in the film, but I remember one of the rocks just staying in there, and then fuck, I forget. Hold on. So they are getting ready to leave, and they can't because their thing got knocked over. And I think Nate, I believe, I can hardly progress. Hold on, let me check. Apollo 18. I just want to make sure I'm getting this correct. Nathan Walker and Benjamin. So Ben and Nate, well, Nate goes out, and Nate is talking about how there's something in his fucking suit, and Ben can't see it, but Ben, I don't think Ben saw, but you could literally see a spider alien going across his face in a spacesuit, and he literally gets knocked out, and then Ben ends up finding Nate on the ground by the fucking crash site, where the fuck, and he's bleeding bad, and he gets taken to the ship, and then is, for oxygen, and his eyes are blood red and shit, and he takes off his shirt, and he got a big ass fucking cut, but it turns out that one of the alien rock spiders got inside of him, and it's moving around shit, so the only way to get it out is by getting the tweezers and really you're ripping out this scene right here is probably one of the most disturbing, fucking disgusting. Like, you have to get it it's so hard to explain. Like, it's fucking disgusting. Like, literally you just gotta dig some tweezers into them, and then you gotta rip it out. Oh my god, that fucking hurts. I swear, that fucking painful. And it's too late for Nate because he's already infected. Because if Ben would have done a little bit more before it got to his bloodstream, he would actually survive and not be contaminated or affected by it. And Nate is affected by it, then I don't know, night, evening, whatever fuck, Nate is bleeding, and then Ben goes to check up on him, and that's when I know Nate is infected, because he says, don't touch me, don't ever touch me. And then he goes back to sleep. And then, well, there's one scene where Ben is like, it's one of my samples, and Nate ends up breaking the rock and shit, and the whole ship gets contaminated and shit. And then there's one scene where Nate is like, they're not gonna help us. They're not gonna bring us home. And Nate's saying they're not bringing us home, which I'll get to that in a second. And so I think, like, I'm trying to put this in words. So if I miss anything, so they go out, and I guess for some fucking reason they're going on their moon. I don't know what the fuck you call it when they drive on that thing across the moon. And then Nate's saying they want me, and then Nate ends up falling off the fucking thing, and then you get this whole fucking scene where there's just giant rock alien spiders on the surface and shit. And then Ben ends up finding Nate, which is by this big ass open crater, and then Nate gets taken down, and Ben tries finding him, but he is taking pictures, but he really does not know that every frame per frame, the spiders are coming out of the rocks, or they're coming out of the dirt, and it's pretty fucking badass how they done that. And then Ben runs up out of the crater, and then saying Nate is dead and shit. Then he ends up finding the fucking, oh yeah, before they find the Russian fucking spacecraft, and the people that sent them up there lied about them not being the first ones. It was actually the Russians. So the Russian thing is the only one that is going to be able to save him. So he goes in there. Ben's the only one left, and little does he not know that it's contaminated with a bunch of fucking spider rock aliens. And if I were him, I would just literally just take them out, and then I would go. But I don't think he knew they were in there. So before he gets take off, he contacts Russia or whatever and gets through to his team or whatever fucking call it, and say, you gotta help me. And then we're like, and they're like, on second thought, Ben, we can't bring you back, which is really fucked up, because they knew what the fuck was gonna happen to them, and they just sent them up there for no fucking reason. Like, that's fucked up. In the same way, like, it was supposed to be a secret mission. Like, literally, they just knew about the Russians dying up there. It's so fucked up. Like, literally, it is really fucked up. And also, in one of the other scenes, they find a dead Russian, and they bring his body up, and they find that rock, and they take it back to the ship, and that's how their ship got contaminated. But Ben's like, fuck you anyway, I'll still get out of here. And I think Tommy, is that his name? I can be completely wrong. helps him, and they're getting ready to lift off, and then Nate approaches the fucking door, and then he ends up beating it in with a hammer, but stops, and then you get this whole fucking scene where there's just a bunch of spiders all over his fucking face and helmet and shit, and then they end up exploding, and then he ends up dying, I guess, and Nate, Ben ends up taking off, and Tommy's saying you're getting too close to you're going too fast, and then when he reaches the atmosphere, you see the spider rocks, well, the rocks in the air float up, and then they crack out, and they're the fucking spider rock aliens, and they literally infect Ben, which causes him, I guess, to be infected, and he dies. Let's all scream, and the movie ends there. They end there on Ben crashing into an ocean. Tommy dying from some weird ass cause, I believe. Nate. Wait, hold on. I could read you the ending because there's also alternate endings, which is pretty fucking badass because how they shot it for this movie. I think it's pretty fucking cool, in my opinion. But the movie ends off with their deaths, and they're saying they're crashing into different oceans and shit, and it plays a flashback of before they went up on the moon, and there's different deleted scenes on why they sent them up there in the first place, and it's really fucked up. But can you imagine if this was fucking real? Imagine setting up people on the fucking moon and not telling them that the Russians died, or the Russians were the first one to be up there. They end up getting contaminated by this weird ass fucking alien creature, rock, spider, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But it's still really fucked up how they didn't tell them what the fuck was going to happen. At the same time, I don't know if they knew about it, but it's still fucked up how you sent them up there. But there's different deleted scenes and alternate endings. It's pretty fucking cool. But yeah. So this is my review on Apollo 18. Great fucking movie. I'll probably give it like, I haven't seen it in a while, so I'll probably, last time I saw it was fucking great. So I'll probably give it like maybe a 9 out of 10. No, 9.7 out of 10 because it's perfect to me. I don't care what anybody else says. I think this movie is a phenomenon. I think it's fucking great. If they would have made a second one, well, they couldn't because everyone died in the first one, but it's still crazy how this is almost based off a true story, because before the other Apollos happened, they canceled it because of the big budget cuts. So there was no Apollo 17, 18, 19, or 20, I think, or 18 or 19, 20, yeah. And I guess that's it. So yeah, that's my review on Apollo 18. If you have never watched this movie, I recommend you watching it. It's a good fucking found footage film, or sci-fi, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, if it's space horror related. But yeah, that's about it. Long ass review. I'll try to make more videos whenever I get time to, but yeah, that's about it.